question, obviously, we're real happy, Samson stayed. And I think that, when you're close to people for a long time and something happens, sometimes it makes, rational decisions and irrational decisions, excuse me. So, no, he wanted to be here. He's a great kid. He's all in. So he's been busting his tail to get ready, and as far as, the depth of our room, obviously, with Samson, with Stevie, with David moving over, Tim, Rod. I mean, I think as far as a group, it's the most, most sound group we've had since I've been here. They're talented. They love ball, and I feel really comfortable with them out there. And then obviously you said it, Stevie, Sampson, they both started games. Sampson still has not played a lot of football, to be quite honest with you. He played Purdue last year in Tennessee. That's really it. Besides that, he didn't have many carries throughout the season. So he's still improving every day, and just excited about the group that we have. Just a really, really strong and really fun group to be around and to coach.
Right.
Honestly, it hasn't strengthened the decision. You know what I mean? So there was no situation, in my opinion. You know what I mean? 10 years ago, or excuse me, 2 years ago, you wouldn't even have known the kid was thinking that. Now you just click a button, now the whole world knows, right? And so to me, it wasn't a situation. There was nothing bad about it. It was just the click of a button. And so now it's just with social media, that's what makes it a big deal before. But he's not the only kid that's ever felt this way in college football. He won't be the only kid to ever feel this way in college football. So as far as that goes, I mean, our relationship hasn't changed at all. We've always been close. We're always going to stay close, and I want what's best for Samson. I mean, I think that's all up to Coach Sheridan. The more we run the ball, the more guys are going to get touches, and I think there's always whoever, you roll with the hot hand. Like I said, I think we have a couple guys that can start in there, and they're all going to play. They're all going to play, so we'll see how it goes. That's how we practice. They all practice, so they're all going to play, and we'll see what happens as we go. But, I mean, as long as we run the ball, I mean, if there's only 15 carries in the game, it's hard to say someone's going to get 7 and 7. But you run the ball 25, 30 times, and you can go 20 and 10. You can go 15 and, 15. You can do those things. But, if you only run the ball 15 times a game, I mean, you're not going to be able to do 7 carries and 7 carries. It's just a guy can't get in the flow that way. So, see what Coach Sheridan wants to do this year. First question, I think this offseason has helped. Stevie got hurt last year. I think it's just, any offseason helps for recovery, and, not a lot of hitting in the spring with only 4 practices and not having a fall camp. So I think the guys are healthy. The guys have been training. One thing with COVID was they missed a lot of training time, but they've been able to get their bodies back and get in shape from that standpoint. So just excited about those guys and the health that they're in right now. Spiegel's doing well. He's like any other freshman. He's learning every day, and he's a great kid, fun to be around, and I enjoy coaching him every day. He was just an explosive athlete. As he played receiver last year. We recruited him originally as a running back, so he was he was coming here to play running back, and let him play in the slot last year, and now we're gonna let him play some tailback, and you can just utilize him multiple ways. So we're just really excited about him, and he's special. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball. He's 6 foot 210. And so he's a big receiver and a solid size running back. And they can roll. So we're just excited about him and just looking forward to using him and getting him on the field this year. Well, first off, I think that up front, we're more mature. We're more experienced up front, and I think that's going to help us from that standpoint. And I think we're, in order to to run the ball, you have to run the ball. I think if you look at it last year, there's some games we only had 18 carries or 20 carries. We threw the ball. I think we led the Big Ten in passing yards last year, I think. And so, you have to run the ball to be able to run the ball. So, we have to commit ourselves as a coaching staff to running the ball. And as long as we do that, we have the tools, we have the O-line to do it, we have the talent in the backfield to do it. So I'm just really looking forward to, when we're game planning and seeing what's up, the best way to get these guys the ball. I think Charlie is everything you see that, who he was in high school. He's a thick back that runs really, really hard, and he's hard to tackle, and so now that the difference between high school and now is the speed of the game, how fast things go, bigger players, faster players. And so he's like any other freshman, though. He's learning on a day-to-day basis. We throw the ball here at Indiana. So, he's got to learn pass game stuff. He's got to learn routes. He has to learn all those things. So he just needs to develop into a full-time player. But I tell you what, he runs the ball really hard, and we're really excited. The scrimmage the other day, he ran some guys over and did some good things. So we're just excited to have him in the room, and just happy that he chose to come here because, like you said, he's a kid that passed up scholarship offers to to walk on here at Indiana, and he wants to be here. He loves football, and he wants to prove that he's a Big Ten football player. I just think that we all know what's going on in America, and it's one of those things where I just want to tell the kids, you can't complain if you don't vote. And I think that that's when we started the process of, okay, how are we going to get all these guys registered? And it wasn't just Coach Shelby and I, Coach Paycheck, and our Excellence Academy were heavily involved with that. And they helped us out and gave us a lot of support. But from the team aspect, Coach Shelby ran things, after a couple of meetings that we were in. And so the big thing is we just, my thing is don't complain if you don't vote. And, these guys want, they want to be heard. They want a voice, don't tweet, vote. You know what I mean? And so that's the biggest thing that we want to tell them is that, the power you have, and it's not just the presidential election, it's your local elected officials as well, that they have a chance to change and have a chance to impact. So if you want to see real change, then use your voice and also go vote, but don't complain if you're not voting. So that's the one thing and the one message that we want to tell those guys.